coronavirus last year. The vets didn't inform us how elevated her coronavirus antibodies were. After the 3 or 4 months, she's gone blind and might be FIP, which means death. She's only 1.5 years old. Thanks for streaming, homie. It helps. That fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, honest. Thank you very much. Any shout out to any unemployed or furloughed boys in the chat? Hey, man. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, people got more time to watch my stream and just fuck around, man. I feel like there's a lot of people that, you know, as I said, they take isolation pretty bad. For me, I think it's great. Last week you replied to my dono saying that you won't give out spots, but you do. I'm just curious why. Because these are people that I've known for like over a year. So like, because I've known them for so long, I wanted to give them a spot, right? And this is like a very special circumstance. But in like the norm, no, I don't really give out spots, right? Giving out one spot doesn't mean I just always give out spots, if that makes sense. Overall, yeah, I mean, like, I would be willing to do, like, the Twitch Safety Council thing. Like, I don't know, like, the thing is that I think that they do need somebody in there that, like, knows what they're talking about. But I think, like, Z's and Co., like, you know, those guys know what they're talking about, too, right? And so, like, I don't think I need to be there or it's going to be a disaster. I think those guys know what they're doing and they know what to say. You know, that's really all there is to it, man. Yeah, they know what they're doing. I don't feel like it's just going to be like a complete like SJW circle jerk and, you know, like nothing important is ever going to happen. I just think that overall, like, I feel like it was a political move or like kind of a PR move more than anything. So like if you have a situation like that and, you know, like why would I want to involve myself with that? I don't know. Like to me, I just want to do whatever I can to make the website better because I do feel like there are a number of things that do matter with Twitch. And like the rules and the way that the rules are applied and what's fair and what's not. And I'd like to work with them on that, but obviously, you know, that's up to them. That's up to them. That's really what it comes down to. And Miss Loot. And listen, half the people on the council are actually educated. Well, you can be educated, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily know what to do, right? I mean, like somebody just being educated or having like a college degree doesn't automatically qualify you for doing things in, you know, like tangentially related fields. So if somebody has like a college degree in something, like I know plenty of people with college degrees and they're incompetent as fuck. And I know plenty of people that don't have them and that are not incompetent. But I will actually have to admit, most of the people that I know that are incompetent, there's a larger trend of people that don't have college degrees and have high school educations that are incompetent than college people. Yes, of course, there's going to be a trend, but I don't think that necessarily means that they really know what they're doing and what they're talking about, you know? That's basically it. What's your least favorite raid boss encounter of all time? My least favorite raid boss encounter of all time? Let me think. Least favorite. College degrees like having high item level. That's actually a really good analogy. I like that. Probably botanist. Yeah, I'd say probably botanist more than any boss. Actually, no, Mistress Shazrin, because I stuck around for botanist, but I quit raiding with Mistress. Like I was like, this is not fun to play. I just don't like it, and I quit. Yeah, I quit on Mistress. I was like, fuck this shit, dude. I'll come Heroic Spine. We killed Heroic Spine. I think after one nerf or so, or I think it was 2 nerfs actually, because they nerfed it like 10 times or some kind of fucking bullshit because it was fucking broken at the beginning of the expansion, or the end of the beginning of the raids here. So like, I don't remember it like being like super hard. I think that it was just something that we needed to work on and get better at. And I didn't really dislike Spine of Deathwing a lot because I like kind of the cadence to it, if that makes sense. Van Cleef from Dead Minds, no, dude. Talk about diversity on Twitch Council, be a perfect candidate. Well, the thing is, like, they don't want diversity. Like, they want corporate diversity, not actual diversity, right? I mean, this is the same thing that every company wants. Whenever they say diversity, they don't mean diversity. Like, that's just, it's just, everybody knows that. That's been any time around, like, corporations or any of that kind of stuff. They're just looking to be friendly and stuff like that, and, you know, like, earn brownie points from, you know, special interest groups. That's basically it. Woke capitalism? Yeah, basically. That's pretty much a good way to look at it. They don't mean diversity of thought or viewpoint. No, exactly. Yeah, they mean diversity of like appearance or identity or something like that. They don't care about diversity of viewpoint. That's not important to them. That's why they didn't bring in anybody in there who was like a streamer that's had any sort of like real problems with Twitch before. It's just they always brought in people that had like, you know, perfect clean records and, you know, things like that. And so I understand obviously it would be harder if this song goes on forever, dude. I'm just going to change it. Okay, so yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, sorry, that song goes on way too fucking long. Like halfway through that song, I realized that the only people that could ever stand listening to it are stoned hippies on Woodstock. So, you know, I didn't really want to listen to the rest of it, man. So yeah, virtue signaling. Well, it's just more or less like people that just do the same thing. It's kind of like superstition in a way, and I don't know. Like to me, I feel like doing the right thing by everybody is like the main thing, right? And everybody does mean everybody. It doesn't mean like catering to a 1% and trying to make them happy and then having everybody else kind of confined around that 1%. I think it's important to make sure that everybody gets treated fairly and equally. And that's really what matters the most, at least in my opinion. Only Slayer can scare them away? No, I don't think so, man. And when we get to know WoW before they get crushed with the sheer amount of content, you don't really need to know a lot about WoW. And I think that's probably the worst thing about the game right now, is that the game feels like you have to know a lot about it, but the truth is that you don't. And that's the worst combo to have, right? Is that, you know, the game feels like it's hard to get into, but it's actually not. And I feel like that's kind of the problem that WoW's run into. Do you think McConnell's a communist? Well, I mean, like, he does play a rep paladin. So I don't want to say anything, but I'll just leave it at that, okay? So yeah, how about that? Extremely yes. Well, it's not really that complex. I don't know. The thing is, like, I've played the game for so long that actually I might not even really know if it's complex or not anymore, because it's just so much of it is second nature to me. And it would be hard for me to like go back and like replay the game and then like relearn everything. I know that, for example, whenever I play FPSs, that I have such a hard time like learning and adapting to them because I haven't played a game like that for such a long time. And that's kind of a problem, man. So kind of like Path of Exile? Yeah, kind of like Path of Exile. That's good. One of the reasons I don't play WoW, I tried it a few days ago, but it's too much for me at the moment. I would say for you guys that like want to start playing WoW, wait until the pre-patch for Shadowlands comes out. Whenever the pre-patch comes out, the odds are the game is going to be pretty fucking fun. Like, I don't remember a single pre-patch that wasn't fun as fuck. Like, I remember the Mists of Pandaria pre-patch was fucking amazing. The even the WoD pre-patch was awesome. Like all of the pre-patches are really, really fucking fun. Like the BFA pre-patch in Legion was fucking amazing, dude. Like I was logging on, I wanted to play every single fucking day, and that was really, really enjoyable for me. So I wouldn't really say that's like a bad thing or anything like that. Like the Cattle one, yeah, the Cattle one was really fucking fun too. The whole thing was fun. The pre-patch seems to be a minor reset. Well, they need to have a major reset. As I said, I mean, I know they're never going to make a WoW 2, but, you know, at the same time, and I always kind of want to see that, something like a major reset to the game entirely, and that would be fucking amazing. Just level the playing field. BFA pre-patch, well, it was the downscaling, and then everybody was able to pretty much get whatever legendaries they wanted. PvP scaling was gone, so you had a ton of people that wanted to PvP with each other and stuff like that. It was a really, really good fucking time, man. Transmog's bad for the game? I don't know. Like, so Transmog does add a lot of content to the game, but the content that it adds isn't necessarily, I don't know if it's like good content in a way. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't make people feel good for doing it. In the same way that, like, you know, getting new gear makes you feel good in the same way. When did you start Mythic raiding in BFA? I started Mythic raiding, like raiding seriously, in Burning Crusade. So I raided like in Karazhan, right? Of course, and I raided in like AQ20 and like fucking ZG and Vanilla WoW. But whenever I actually really started raiding seriously was on Brutalis. So my guild, this is like a few nights before like my guild. Well, no, actually, so another guild had killed Brutalis before we did. And so my guild needed an arms warrior, and their current arms warrior quit the game. And he like transferred servers or like whatever it was. And so there was only one arms warrior online, and that was fucking me, dude. And I logged on, and they brought me into the raid, man. And it was a great fucking time, I'll tell you that. It was a great fucking time. And, yeah, I really liked it a lot, man. And the game feels like it's pressuring you to level fast and do the best times. Yeah, I mean, there are, like, a lot of, like, kind of pressures in the game, but I think that a lot of that is also player-driven, too. Yeah, Black Temple, greatest ever. I feel like a lot of the people that thought that Black Temple was a great raid were people that didn't do Black Temple, because all I remember from Black Temple was being, is going through a bunch of trash. Like, there was so much trash in the raid, it was fucking ridiculous. And like the bosses, like a lot of the bosses were super fucking easy, and I don't know, like it didn't really seem like super exciting. Like the council fight, like before Illidan, Illidari Council was really cool, but this song's too loud. Sorry, I gotta change it. Yeah, it's really. I need to make sure that I like re-equalize those songs. But regardless, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And Black Temple should be named Trash Temple. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, as I said, like they didn't actually do BT back then, and they just felt like, oh yeah, this is a cool raid because it had Illidan in it. Illidan was like, I guess Illidan was a cool fight. I liked the Illidari Council. Let me think. What were the other good fights in Black Temple? Oh, Reliquary of Souls. I love that fight, man. I thought Reliquary of Souls was just like one of the coolest fucking fights ever. So yeah, I like that one a lot. Gurtog was really hard. Like, you had to react fast as fuck to that breath, especially for back then. Karen's was the best ever. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, man. Let's see. Sunwell is the best raid in BC. I don't know, man. Sunwell being the best raid in BC? No, I think Tempest Keep probably was the best raid, or maybe SSC. I think all the tier 5 content raids were way better than the tier 6 content raids. I also thought that Sunwell was so hard that it kind of forced people into class stacking, and whenever you force people into class stacking, I feel like that's kind of not really good game design. That's my opinion. Dream guest on Allcraft, having anybody? I don't know. I'd like to have Ian on Allcraft. That's definitely what I would say. Yeah. Do a raid ranking? Ranking the raids. Like from what? Like every expansion? Let me think. So in BC, I would say, I don't know which one is better. I personally think the Eye is the best raid. I thought this was the coolest raid because Kael'thas was one of the best bosses. Other than that, I mean, like, Karazhan, I guess, is really cool, but I'm kind of, like, categorizing that differently because it's a 10-man. So, a tier list? You guys really want me to do a tier list? Didn't I do that before? Like, I'm pretty sure I've done that before. Yeah, I'm like 95% sure I did this before. Yeah, I did. Not for bosses. Yeah, I think that I did. Let me just look it up. I can just fucking take a look at it on Google. All right, give me a second. And let's see. Asmongold tier list. There it is. See? Asmongold ranks all WoW expansions and raids. So, I mean, you guys already have it right there. All WoW dungeons makes a tier list. Yeah, I've already done these. It's not, you did it like a year ago? Yeah, I think so. Watch it. I'm not going to watch it. Not for TBC only. For TBC only? You want me to just do it only for TBC? Okay, I feel like I don't really need to make a tier list for that. I just can just say it, right? I mean, I'd say Karazhan is number 1. I mean, Karazhan obviously is number 1. And number 2 is either the Eye or Serpent Shrine Cavern. Number 3 is probably Sunwell, I would say. Number 4 would be Black Temple. Number 5 would be Gruul's Lair. Number 6 is Mags. Number 7 is, or 8, or whatever the fuck it is Battle for Mount Hyjal. That's pretty much it, man. People can just watch the old videos. Yeah, I know, man. Please don't watch it. It's so cringy. I'm not gonna watch my own video, dude. Relax. Like, chill out. Of course I'm not gonna do that. That's insane. Do you plan on doing Mythic Jaina mount giveaways before Shadowlands? A Mythic Jaina mount giveaway. How easy is Mythic Jaina? I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, how easy is that? Do it? I could try it. I could try it in just a little bit if you guys wanted me to. I feel like we could kill her pretty easily. You need coordination, but do you really? Like, I mean, and that's an honest question. But do you really? Like, can't you just burn her down? The only thing you need to have people for the transition. So the transition is the hardest part of the entire fight, which is kind of stupid, but there it is. So you just have to have that, and then that's all that's all there is to it, man. And let's see, Jaina's hella easy. Yeah, I think that it's hella easy too, man. At least in my opinion, it is. Fuck, dude. Old War and ICC are masterpieces? I agree, XQC. I agree. Old War and ICC. I liked Old War the most. I think Old War was the best raid. Ulduar was the best raid of all time. And for anybody that didn't do it, because a lot of you guys didn't play back then, a lot of you guys probably didn't get a chance to do Throne of Thunder. Throne of Thunder, in my opinion, is the only raid that can compare with Ulduar. That is the only raid. Now, below that, you've got raids like, you know, fucking Blackrock Foundry. Blackrock Foundry was an amazing fucking raid. Let's see, besides that, Legion, you've got Nighthold. Nighthold was fucking awesome. BFA, let's see what else we have here. Cataclysm. Firelands was really good. I really, really liked Firelands. It was a fun raid, and it was just enjoyable. You know, that's really all there is to it. I thought Nighthold made you quit. Nighthold, okay, so Nighthold was a very, very interesting time in my life playing the game, okay? And I want to explain why. So Nighthold was those kinds of days, it was that kind of content, and it was that kind of time where it had everything to do with everything besides the raid, if that makes sense. So it wasn't really that the raid was hard, it's that my guild was falling apart. It's that I was, you know, falling behind on my streams. It's that basically everything besides the guild was the problem. If it was just the guild, I would have been totally fine. And Nighthold was boring. BOD was fun, to be honest. I didn't really like BOD a whole lot. I thought that the raid wasn't really like super fun, man. Let me see which other ones I need to do. I was thinking about getting one of the achievements for the fucking crab mount. And then after that, we can try to do Mythic Jaina. I actually kind of, now that you guys say it, I kind of want to try it out and see if it's possible. Oh, did I do King's Rest this week? I think I did. I'm like 90% sure I did. Yeah, I did do King's Rest. Okay, so unless somebody has a plus... Does somebody have a +2 key for King's Rest? I kind of just want to try that. I'm feeling lucky today. Asmongold, +2 KR. Let me see. Does anybody have a +2 King's Rest key? And I'll take a +3 as well. But nothing beyond that. I don't want to actually challenge myself in even the slightest way, man. Even the slightest fucking way. Preach Covenant video? Listen, I'll watch like maybe a couple of videos after I do this, okay? And then we can do the Mythic BOD thing. How about that? And when you're doing Mythic of all raids, I've done a lot of the Mythic old raids. I've done plenty of them. Does anybody have a +2 King's Rest? Can we please get a +2 King's Rest? Internet Historian? Yeah, we'll look at the Internet Historian video if it's good. And we'll take a look at that after I finish this, though. I want to get this done. And music too loud? I wonder why this song is too loud. It should be a pretty... Oh, wow, look at that. It's only a 19, guys. We can just knock that out real quick, huh? Okay, guys, link me your key. Just link me the key. It'll make it a lot easier for me. Let me see if there's anything on the auction house for me to buy while I wait. TOGC was a good fight. A +6? I mean, a +6, like, now we're getting into, like, flasking for the content territory. I mean, that's intense, man. Like, I don't know if I can handle a +6, dude. A +6? Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay, Kaizen, come on in, buddy. Yeah, here you go, man. You're in. All right, come on in, Kaizen. He's got ourselves a nice, cute +2. Okay, now let's get ourselves a group. Okay, who wants to come to this King's Rest? Let me go ahead and edit this. Actually, I'll delist us and then start it up. And I'll make minimum item level 460. How about 460 for the 2 King's Rest? Okay, Kaizen, let's go ahead and go over there and we'll summon everybody in the area. All right, yeah, we're just doing it real quick for a chance at the mount, man. That's pretty much it. Okay, I'll invite them. Okay, good, and we'll invite Lloyd. Okay, perfect. All right, we've got ourselves a group. Let's go ahead and zone in, boys. Let's get this done. All right, I guess we'll go over to Nazmir. Yeah, might as well. See, so does Wildstream. We went for a fresh 120 to 470 in a couple of hours. Well, yeah, it's... The thing is, like, I don't know. It's so weird, man. It's just... the game is so... It's in such a weird spot right now. And I don't know what... Like, it's so complicated. It's getting boosted. Yeah, I know. But, like, still, it's just crazy. I don't even know what to say, man. When did you get the long boy? I missed that. When I get the long boy? Okay. I have a +2 King's Rest. Well, we already have one for now. So I don't need another one. Okay, let me head on over there, and we'll get this done. If you have enough help from viewers from Mythic Plus, then yes, it's easy. Well, it's still ridiculous, man. I really think that it's ridiculous. And I don't know, like, the gear is easy to get, but the problem is, like, the gear probably didn't have the right corruptions. The gear probably doesn't have, he might not have all of his Azurite traits unlocked. And there's, like, all of these secondary progression systems that are actually the real gearing process and, like, the character progression process. Whereas I feel like the gearing process for somebody's character should be built entirely around the actual gear itself, rather than, like, these secondary systems that you're just, like, working on tangentially. But I think that, like, the gear itself should be what your progress is. And that's what should take a while to get. Not these weird fucking processes, dude. I'm not in for that, man. Real Warriors use Dreadnought set? Yeah, I know that. That is one of the biggest truths possible. 20 people donating gear isn't a thing for not millionaires. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously that's true, but I think that, like, Rich had that happen too. And it's like, if you just have, like, a few friends that can help you a little bit, like, I'm not talking about, like, fucking massive, like, streamer benefits. I'm saying, like, just in general. Like, that's the way it happens, man. What are your top 5 boss encounters? Top 5 boss encounters. Number 1. I'm in no particular order. High King, sorry, not High King Mulgar. High Imperator Margok in Highmaul. Blackhand in Blackhawk Foundry, even though I'm a warrior. Mythic Gul'dan. Kael'thas. Heroic Ragnaros. Yeah, that's what I would say. If I had to pick them, no Ulduar? No. I didn't think, like, any of the boss fights in Ulduar were, like... Ulduar was a great raid in general, but I don't think that there was any boss fight in Ulduar besides maybe Firefighter. I don't know, like... Yogg was real... I didn't like how... I thought that the mechanic and the way that you had to kill Yogg Zero Light was contrived. I did. Like, how you had to have, like, warlocks, and you'd have a lot of, like, people casting, like, turning away and, like, not looking at him. I don't know. I didn't really feel like that felt good to play. And maybe that's, like, my opinion, but I didn't like it a whole lot. Did you see Esfon's on the front page for most geared players in the world for Classic? Well, Esfon's got a lot of fucking gear, dude. Like, I mean, that's all there is to it. He's got a lot of fucking gear. I think I should be on the page for the worst geared, because I'm the only warrior apparently in the entire world that doesn't have a Thunder Fury. That's it. Yeah, 2 legendaries. Exactly. I'll have 2 legendaries too once I'm able to get my second binding, though. Okay, everybody should be inside. So, Kaizen, once everybody's in here, we'll go ahead and we'll start, and we'll get this done. Let me take a drink. Thunder Fury fucking Paladin? Yeah, I would never give Thunder Fury to a Paladin personally, but it's his guild. They do whatever the fuck they want. Like, it doesn't really matter. But like, the thing is with Classic is, like, you always have, like, this duality where the gear doesn't really matter, but at the same time, you want to give the gear to the people that it's going to make the biggest difference for. So you have, like, this weird thing where, well, you don't really need the gear to clear the content, so it ultimately doesn't matter who it goes to, but logically it wouldn't make sense for you to give it to somebody. It's like you give it to one person and increases their DPS by 5, or you give it to somebody else and increases their DPS by 50. Like, who you're going to give it to? Obviously, you're going to go with the guy that's going to increase it by 50. But, you know, in Classic, there's always, like, guilds that, like, don't really... It's hard to navigate those 2 boundaries, in my opinion. It's on heroic. Shit. Okay, let me zone out and do that. We should return to WoW. Yeah. Streamers don't play the same WoW game that we plebs play. Well, the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of plebs and, like, other characters there, right? I mean, Esfond is on the list, but everybody else on that list is, you know, there aren't streamers. Like, there's plenty of other people that play the game in the exact same way. I think, actually, like, there are probably more people that are loot whores that aren't streamers than are. Because if you're not a streamer, you don't have a bunch of people complaining about and getting mad all the time, so you just take the gear without any guilt. So it's probably easier to do it whenever you're not a streamer than whenever you are. You think transmogs and achievements obtained in Classic should transfer to retail? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dude, can you imagine the drama whenever the fucking, I don't know, like whenever Corrupted Ashbringer drops or Maul of the Redeemed Crusader or something like that? People would just go crazy. No, man. That would be so bad for the game. That would be awesome. Or, sorry, awful, not awesome. That would be awful. Can I oil your beard? No, I don't think so. Dr. Pepper makes my PP turn into PP. The fuck does that mean? Yeah, I did not mean awesome, okay? Relax. So yeah, anyway, like, I don't know, like, whenever I go and I think back on, like, the kind of content and, like, everything that, like, Classic had, it is kind of hard to, like, have, like, a middle ground with, like, making sure everybody in your raid is rewarded. But the thing is, like, if your raid, for example, if you bring a Ret Paladin into your raid, it just creates a lot of, like, weird dynamics that, if you have a loot council system, are really hard to solve. So for my guild, for example, we just basically have a soft reserve system. So in my guild, if you want an item, you just tell the raid leader, hey, this is the item I'm nominating for the week, and if this item drops, I get it unless somebody else nominates it, and then we roll on it, right? And that's basically how my loot system works. And so there's no, like, giving it to the people that need it the most or any bullshit like that. We just give it to whoever the fuck, man. And that's pretty much how it works, man. And that seems fair. Well, yeah, it seems fair, and it makes sense given the fact that the content is easy. And if you have a loot council system, I don't see the purpose in ever giving a Ret Paladin gear. Like, there's no reason, there's no logical reason to ever do that. It will always help somebody else more, unless literally every single other person in the entire raid has it. And I think that's really what the problem is with, you know, doing loot council systems with Classic, is that there are obvious, like, logical conclusions that you can come to that don't necessarily make sense for, like, the context of the game. You know what I mean? And, listen, best class in TBC? Best class in TBC. Let me think. What is the best class in TBC? Oh, Warrior, that's right. Yeah, Warrior's the best class pretty much all the time. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, Warrior's just pretty much the best class. But if you want a raid spot, Shaman. Like, if you are an Alliance Shaman in TBC or a Horde Paladin, you're going to have a raid spot no matter what. Because people aren't going to want to have to re-level all the way through. So yeah, just level that character up, and you're never going to get fucking replaced, man. And Warrior in TBC, Warriors were great. What the fuck are you talking about? Warriors were gods. So yeah, anyway, I think that's really the problem with, like, Classic WoW, is that you have like these two kind of contradictory ideologies that kind of clash together. And I think that's why, like, the way that my guild does loot is, in my opinion, the most fair. Obviously, I know some people might want to do it differently or whatever. Like, every guild should do what they're comfortable with. But I don't think loot council is a good idea for loot at all in Classic, outside of the main tank. Outside of the main tank, there's no reason that you should be, you know, distributing up loot in that kind of way, right? I don't think there's any purpose. And the reason for that, Suicide Kings is best? I don't like that either. I remember Suicide Kings was like a fucking, that was like a loot system back in Burning Crusade and shit. And I always thought it was, like, stupid. I thought the name was dumb. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of, like, biased against it, I guess. And I just thought it was a silly thing to do. And what's the Mythic Plus add-on? Warriors had no changes in mages and PvP at all? Well, yeah, of course they don't. But, like, that's just the game. That's just the way it goes. I personally rather no meme classes even in Classic. If someone wishes to play it, they should recognize their lower priority. Well, the thing is, like, if you're raiding and, like, you have a group of friends, like for my guild, for example. So in my guild, everybody's friends, everybody gets along. Yeah, people are like, fuck, the Ret Paladin got chromatic boots. Okay, we see how it is. But, like, nobody really gives a fuck. And so everything goes fine. But if you are in a guild that, like, you know, does loot council, it's just never a fair decision to give an item to a Ret Paladin over somebody else. It's never the right decision. It could always have gone to somebody else that will benefit the raid more, right? And so you just kind of have to give make the argument of, like, kind of giving it to them because they're in the raid. And yeah, loot's a crutch. What about Moonkins? Well, Moonkins are kind of the same thing, right? I mean, imagine giving Neff's Tear, right? It's like the spell power trinket that gives you hit rating for your spells. Imagine giving that to a Moonkin. Does that make sense to anybody? No, I don't think so. Because the only thing Moonkins are kind of good at is PvP, and you don't probably need that much spell hit rating for PvP. So it just doesn't really make sense, man. I don't get a DFT with the guild. Well, if you're the main tank, that's fine, man. Parrot's just based off aesthetics. My favorite raid based off of purely aesthetics and nothing else. Purely aesthetics. Shit. Maybe Nax? That's the first one that I can think of. Maybe Blackwing Layer too. I really like BWL aesthetic as well. Let me think. Yeah, I like Nax. And this is like obviously the theme, not like not how good the graphics are, but like the theme of it. Let me think. Mists of Pandaria, I hated all the raids aesthetics in here. Cataclysm, I liked Firelands a lot. Legion, Tomb of Sargeras had the best aesthetics in the entire expansion, in my opinion. I thought Nighthold was kind of boring, like it was visually boring, and the bosses were good, but it was very, very visually boring. What did you think about Wrath of the Lich King Nax? I mean, like, it was too easy. It was definitely too easy. What the fuck is going on here, boys? Whoa. Okay, all right, we're gonna pop off. Yeah, probably it was too easy, I'd say. If anything, Gul'dan was fucked. It wasn't fucked, man. It was just like, I don't know. Wait, no, nobody's clicking the thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, there. Now we got it. Perfect. When's the transmog comp? It's in like a few hours. Like, I'm not doing it right off the way. And that's usually the way that I've always done transmog comps. Where is the, oh, nice. Okay, it's right there. Okay, getting out of that. Doesn't really matter how much damage it does. Want to get an Operation Mechagon group for me so I can unlock Robo-Gnomes? Listen, dude, if you can't do Mechagon, man, that's a fucking joke of a dungeon. Like, it's literally a 5-man, dude. You can get a 5-man group together, no problem. Don't even give me that shit. All right, boys. Y'all think I'm going to get the mount here, or what do you think? I'm feeling good about this one. I don't really know why, but just like the idea of doing it, I can visualize the mount. I really can. I can visualize the fucking mount. I feel good about it too. Recent systems. What's this here? What do you think about Blizzard's recent systems failing at launch and requiring band-aids? They didn't fail at launch, you idiot. They worked great. They made people play the game constantly for shitty rewards. And then finally, after enough people got tired of it, then they finally made it better. That was intentional. They did that on purpose, guys. Like, come on. It's so sad, but there it is. Like, as I said, like that video I made, I'm so glad that video got attention, because it's something that I was actually, like, there are times where I'm ironically malding, but this I was not ironically malding about. I was actually just malding, and I was really, really pissed off about it. And to see Blizzard give the, you know, like, say they're listening to it and everything like that, that meant a lot to me. And I certainly hope that stuff like that doesn't happen. The way that they can, the funny thing is, like, the way that they can solve this problem is really simple. Just make the items take longer to get. Like, that's literally all they have to do. Like, here's an example. Is, like, you have, like, a lot of the 7th Legion commendations and these service medals, wherever the fuck they are. Yeah, service medals. And so the service medals, they're good, but they take a long time to get. And people are okay with that, pretty much, because it's mainly for cosmetics, and also because it's just, you just work at them after time, and then you eventually get it. That's it. You know, and there's a finite amount of them that you can get per day, and it takes, you know, maybe like an hour or so, and then that's it. And I think that's better, overall. PvP vendors next expansion, by the way. Well, and yes, I'm very glad they're doing that. I think that Blizzard's making a lot of good decisions for Shadowlands. Like, the weird thing about it is, like, this corruption vendor is the only thing that I thought was a mistake. Everything else has been completely positive, man. There's an urban dictionary for malding. What, does that have a picture of me? Is that really what it is? Any visions today? Mail Muncher stalling. Another 5 mask. I do another 5 mask. I go for a fucking Mail Muncher. I need the backpack too, actually. I could pop off. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I could pop off. Fuck it. Yeah, why not? I'll do that. But if I do that, I want to also go after the, what do you call it? I want to do the Battle of the Tsar War after that and see how easy that's going to be. You can get 5K mementos easy. Yeah, I think I might be able to get it actually in one run. I only have 429. So we'll see what happens. How many gifted subs if you get them out? I'll get to 100 subs if I get them out. Yeah, I'll get to 100 subs. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we're right there at the last boss almost. I feel like this sounds like really stupid, but the +2 is actually taking like twice as long as me just like going on another character. Like, I probably would have been done if I had just done it on the same character. Or like on a different character that wasn't saved. Okay, here we go. finish this shit up. Time to dodge. All right, boys. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay. I got the Mail Muncher on my first mailbox. Must be nice. Opinion on which expansion Warrior gameplay was at its peak? The expansion that Warrior gameplay was at its peak, in my opinion, Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King. It was... now, Mists of Pandaria, here's why I liked Wrath of the Lich King more than Mists of Pandaria. Because I felt like Mists of Pandaria had too much bloat. For example, I don't think that Warriors needed Shield Wall and Die by the Sword. I think that's ridiculous. But overall, like, I can see why a lot of people think it's Mists of Pandaria. I would say, if I had to, like, put, like, a number on it, 60% Wrath, 40% Mists of Pandaria. So, like, that's how close they are in terms of, like, which one I think is better. So, they're very, very close. I like both of them. And also, the best state of Fury, this might really surprise a lot of people, but I think Fury and Nighthold was the best state of Fury has, like, pretty much ever been in. I thought it was fucking amazing. Fury and Nighthold was some of my... I remember I would get depressed playing Fury and Nighthold because I knew that it wouldn't last forever. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I was like, man, dude, they're gonna nerf this shit. It's not gonna be as fun. But I really, really loved it. I mythic rated. I enjoyed just, like, playing the game. It was just a really, really fun fucking game, man. I'm gonna tell you a new gearing every expansion. I'm fine about gearing. I like gearing. That's what the game's about. I think that once you start getting rid of a lot of the fundamentals of the game, then it ceases really to become WoW, and it's just like a different game that people just want it to be. I don't think WoW should, like, try to make a lot of concessions to, like, other games and, like, try to make it so much like other games. Like, they should do things that other games do right, but at the same time, I don't think that they should go out of their way to try to, like, make WoW like other games. Okay, here we go. Literal Mount God. Here we go, dude. Here we go, dude. Here we go, dude. Alrighty. Please, motherfucker. Please, you dog shit ass trash fuck.